Let's take a second to talk about Jesus, because I feel like I created this channel with the divine intention in mind that I don't really discuss as a topic enough. So I want to declare and let it be known to everyone that watches this channel right now that I am a believer in Jesus Christ and that I praise the Father and worship Yahweh. And I have had a very nuanced and interesting relationship with religion. In fact, I spent the ages of 5 to the age of 14 pretty much being an agnostic atheist. Yet in spite of that, I can accurately attest that even in the times in my life where I claimed that I did not believe in God, God was currently protecting me and was always surrounding me. And sometimes I find it funny that I am willing to admit that now, especially going over the cringy edgelord dialogue that I definitely had a lot of during the time that I was a teenager and growing up as a child. I feel like we all have that phase, and some of us don't ever really grow out of it, but I definitely got out of mine early. But to tell you of one of the main instances that occurred in my life that made me truthfully believe in God, it occurred when I was 17, so this was in 2018. And long story short, I was visiting one of my family members in New Jersey, and I was supposed to get a bus at this place in New York called Port Authority in order to head back to my home where I live. So I woke up really early in the morning at like 5 a.m. to call my mom because my mom was gonna get me a ticket to get on this bus to go home. And I called her like 3 times, and each time she didn't answer. But I told my family member that I was visiting that she didn't pick up the phone, and they told me to just go back to sleep then. So I did. And I woke up to a bunch of missed phone calls from my mom. So I immediately called her back, and then she picks up the phone panicking, and she's like, Jah, where are you? And I'm like, I'm in the house. Like, what's up? Like, just completely confused to what's going on. And then she goes, there was a attack at the Port Authority. And then I'm just like, you're lying. Like, what are you yapping about, mom? Like, what are you talking about? And then she's like, oh, cut on the TV right now. There was a attack. And I was like, okay. So I cut on the news, and then apparently, and this is the crazy part, so if my mom had picked up the phone, right, I would have had to go outside, get on the bus, and then ride the bus down to the Port Authority. I would have got there an hour and a half, and at the same time I would have arrived is when some man apparently walked into the front doors of the Port Authority with a nail bomb or a bunch of nail bombs in his backpack, and then he detonated them in a crowd full of people. And I literally would have been there if my mom picked up the phone. Like I said, I was like sort of considering myself agnostic and like questioning things at the time, but like I'd had multiple instances like that just reminded me like there has to be some kind of higher power at play, because I'm all about logic and reason. I'm the type of individual to where if you can prove something to me, like, you know, definitive evidence, and I can't doubt it, then I'll believe it. And that was one of the moments for me where I just felt like God was just like undeniable. He proved himself to me in many instances to the point where I hear his voice now. If I pray, he will respond. But yeah, that was definitely the one where I was like, maybe I'm wrong. And then I actually converted to Islam for a little while, and I was going to the mosque, started reading the Quran, and I really resonated with that religion as well, because my father is a Muslim and his side of my family practices Islam predominantly. And I actually, when I was little, the very first school I actually went to in my life was the Louis Farrakhan School for Islam. So you know, I had a lot of those tenets instilled in me in my youth. So that religion resonated with me for a while. And I used to refer to myself as a Islamic universalist, which essentially to me meant that I genuinely felt that Islam is the truth, and I mainly followed the tenets of Islam, and I prayed like a Muslim and everything. But I still believed in the concept of universalism. Universalism being that all religions are true in the sense that oneness is God, and that God will reveal itself to everyone in every way. And to me, that may be articulated in a different way than it would a Jewish person, or, you know, I was basically of the belief that God will reveal himself to everyone. And I still believe that, but I do also recognize the one truth, that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. And there is a power behind that name, and the meaning, and the knowing that he is the Son of God, and that God resurrected himself and sacrificed himself for our sins. It's a very powerful realization. And my grandmother was always Christian when I was growing up. She was super devout Christian, always like wouldn't let us play Dungeons and Dragons or watch Harry Potter. And I still haven't seen Princess and the Frog because of the voodoo in it, and my grandma being like super avid about that shit. So I also had that drilled in me a lot. But you know, just of my own free will, of my own volition, I acknowledge that Jesus Christ is the truth, and I wanted anybody that watches me to know that. So if you watch this video, thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. God bless you for watching. Please share your own testimonies in the comments below. I would love to hear everybody else's stories about Jesus, if anybody has any. And I love you. I pray you all have a blessed day. I'm God, signing off.
I come in clutch like a genie. Don't talk unless you need me. You talk too much, you need it. All of my bitches look like models, she in love with me. When we link, it's flashing lights and cameras, got a blam.